Kicking it, the e-liquid nicotine addiction triangle. E-liquid is the fluid that fuels the e-cigarette. E-liquid, popularly called e-juice, is a mixture that typically contains water, a choice of nicotine levels, food-grade flavoring in thousands of combinations, PG or propylene glycol that provides a throat hit similar to cigarettes and boosts the flavor, and VG or vegetable glycerine that is easier on the throat than PG and produces a thick vape cloud. Nicotine in e-juice comes in two forms, freebase nicotine and nicotine salt. Freebase nicotine quickly crosses into the bloodstream so that the vapor quickly feels the physical kick that comes from inhaling nicotine. But freebase nicotine has a harsh taste because it is treated with ammonia. The earliest generations of e-cigarettes used e-liquids containing freebase nicotine. The other form of nicotine used in e-liquids is nicotine salts, or nic salts. Nicotine salts can be made with higher levels of nicotine, so the effects are felt with fewer puffs, and the kick is smoother and less irritating to the throat. Pod mod e-liquids typically contain nicotine salts. The United States has no restrictions on nicotine in e-liquids. Some e-liquids are marketed as just flavoring, or zero nicotine. But recent studies reported that 99% of the e-cigarettes sold in the US contained nicotine, including some that were labeled as being nicotine-free. Packaging varies by brand. Some are labeled according to nicotine strength, low, medium, high, and super high, while other packages indicate milligrams of nicotine per cartridge or percent of volume. Some e-cigarette labels don't provide any information about nicotine levels. Studies published in 2017 and 2019 found that nicotine concentrations listed on the label didn't match test results. One brand even contained 50% more nicotine than the package claimed. Without government regulations on packaging and labels, buyers can never be sure how much nicotine they are vaping. By 2018, 3/4 of the e-cigarette market in the United States were selling e-liquids with at least 4% nicotine. By comparison, in Europe, nicotine concentrations cannot exceed 2%. Within 10 seconds of taking a puff on an e-cigarette, nicotine crosses into the bloodstream and enters the brain. The sudden burst of nicotine raises blood pressure, breathing and heart rate, and creates a feeling of increased alertness, sometimes called the nicotine kick. Nicotine particles connect to receptors in the brain that send signals to release a brain chemical called dopamine, so the vapor feels good. But vaping isn't a harmless kick. Every vape puff delivers nicotine that changes the way the brain works by creating more receptors. More receptors require more nicotine, which leads to addiction. Addiction is a behavior that is hard to control or stop, even when it's obvious that the habit is harmful. Nicotine is the e-liquid ingredient that is addictive, just like nicotine in traditional cigarettes. Vape addiction among young people can impact attention, learning, and memory, the keys to success in education and work. Nicotine is particularly dangerous before the brain is fully developed, which happens around age 25. Yale neuroscientist Marina Pachotto has long studied the science behind nicotine addiction. Dr. Pachotto says, adolescents don't think they will get addicted to nicotine, but when they want to stop, they find it's very difficult. The adolescent brain is more sensitive to rewards. Changing an addiction is never easy, but when vapers stop vaping, the number of nicotine receptors in their brain will diminish. With time, their brain will go back to the way they were before they even took their first vape puff. Quitting is a journey that includes preparing for nicotine withdrawal symptoms. intense desire for a high that comes with breathing in nicotine, feeling hungry, anxiety or depression, moodiness or irritability, feeling tired or groggy, and having difficulty focusing or paying attention. If you're thinking of quitting and want to explore alternatives, contact your primary care physician or check out these resources.